Hey everybody, it's Tarkan. Welcome to another video with yours truly. So we're going to do something interesting today. I'm going to talk about an exercise that you can do. All right, a quantum shifting, parallel reality shifting exercise. It's going to help you hone your shifting skills. All right, this is one that was introduced to me and everybody by 𝗙ecie. If you don't know 𝗙ecie, that's an entity that is channeled by 𝗙𝗰𝗲𝗡𝗏. It's very interesting. In fact, many years ago, 𝗙ecie helped me kickstart my path on this whole manifesting journey. So if you aren't familiar with 𝗙ecie, I recommend that you go. You may find all the channeling sessions with 𝗙ecie rather comical, but that's all part of the whole thing, right? Get you to laugh, get you to relax, so you can listen to what 𝗙ecie is actually saying to you, because there's a lot of gems in there. Okay, so this is one that's introduced by 𝗙ecie. Again, it's a quantum shifting, parallel reality shifting exercise. It's going to help you do these things with more ease and more deliberately, shifting into realities that you prefer. All right, so I'm going to talk about that in just a quick minute. So, if you recall from some of my other videos on this topic, what I tend to say and what tends to be said about this whole parallel reality quantum shifting thing is that you're doing it all the time. As a matter of fact, our realities we're just living consciously through a series of many different realities. In fact, these shifts happen billions and billions of times a second. If you can imagine, like a still photograph, or if you look at like motion picture film, right? You have all these little still images, and each one is just slightly different from the previous one, just slightly different from the previous one. But when you play them back really quickly, right, and shine light through them, like a projector, what you get is one fluid motion, or what appears to be one fluid motion. And what you get then is motion picture film, right? That's really all it is, just a series of still photographs. Each one's just slightly different than the previous one, so that when you play them very quickly with a projector, it looks like one fluid motion, but really it's just each still photograph is like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, all right? And that's really what your physical reality kind of presents. If you think about the projector being just your consciousness and your conscious awareness and what you put your focus on, you get to choose what you project, right, with your projector, okay? So you choose the images, you choose what reality you're shifting into. That's what whole manifesting, we even call it law of attraction thing, all of it is really about. But here specifically, of course, in this video, we're talking about quantum shifting and parallel reality shifting. So all you need to really be aware of is that you're constantly doing it. It's happening as you're watching this video. It's happening as you're just sitting there. Things are constantly shifting from one parallel reality to the next, 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 billions of times per second. Now, of course, what most of us do, of course, is we just shift through these realities just willy-nilly by default without ever paying any real attention to them. So it appears that things are happening to us. It appears that external reality, the world, all of it is happening to us, that we are somehow separate from it and affected by it, and really nothing could be further from the truth. The whole idea of manifesting is to become more deliberate in terms of where you shift, choosing your preferred realities, and then making the conscious effort, the conscious shifting in your imagination into those preferred realities. Now, this happens by a process. And when I talk about the process of getting you from point A to point B, meaning from one reality to the preferred reality, let's say from your current reality, if there are things that you don't prefer, to a reality where those things that you do prefer are happening, okay, are in place, so to speak. There's a process that unfolds, because just jumping from one to the other, and I had this in a comment with a viewer a few videos back who kept confusing the idea of quantum shifting that I was talking about with quantum jumping, and I said quantum jumping is, of course, you can do it, but you have to really hone your skills of deliberate creation and manifesting first. But then even then, it's not something that's necessarily recommended because it can be too jarring, okay? Suddenly, boom, you're over here, and then boom, you're over there. Usually what happens in our physical reality, in order to maintain that idea, that sense of continuum, like you're watching a movie, okay, unfolding before you, instead of these jolts and jumps of different realities, so that it looks like a smooth progression, is that's what we call the process, or the bridge of events, the natural bridge of events, okay? So that's really, it's like allowing your mind, allowing the universe to fill in those gaps in your perception that allow you to smoothly shift your perception from one reality to the next, to the most preferred. And that's why we call that the time delay as well, okay? And people get so impatient with that. They want it now, 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 which of course means they'll never get it because they're impatient and they're hyper-focused on how they don't have it and how they are not where they want to be. So you need to practice patience, all right, guys? It's very important, because if you don't practice patience, you're going to interfere with the process, the natural process that's unfolding, and you're going to not allow the universe to get you there in the most efficient, smooth way possible, which to you and your monkey mind may not look very quick or efficient or smooth, but is in fact the best option to get you to where you want to be. The universe knows it can see as a much broader perspective than you do, okay? So you got to have patience. You got to allow the process to unfold, all right? So if you interfere, you're going to slow yourself down and frustrate your efforts. So this is a simple exercise, all right? This is going to help you kind of get in touch it's going to help you get in touch with your manifesting, quantum shifting, parallel reality shifting abilities to do that more efficiently, all right? And more deliberately, okay? So it'll help you speed up the process of letting go of limitations as well as they come up, all right? Help you shift more often and more deliberately to the reality that you prefer. So here's what you do, and it's really very simple, all right, guys? So what you do, you want to get relaxed first, okay? You want to take a deep breath. All right, let it out. Take a deeper breath than I took. Hold it for a little bit longer than I did, and then let it out slowly. Do that a couple times until you really feel yourself being relaxed, okay? So wherever you are right now, whatever room you're in, whatever environment you happen to be finding yourself in right now, what you're going to do is you're going to imagine one thing in that environment to be different. Just one little thing, because we're going to do this process slowly, all right? We're going to do it step by step. The thing that usually happens billions of times a second, we're going to just take it one little step at a time to ease you into the idea of being and shifting into a different reality. So pick one thing. You can pick a cup, a table, a piece of clothing that's maybe one color right now, and you can assign it another color, okay? Just in your imagination is where you're doing this now, all right? So you're just imagining, maybe you have a red shirt on, you're going to imagine it being green or blue, all right? Or maybe the carpet in your house is suddenly a different color, or whatever it is. Just pick one thing, because it's only going to be one thing that we're shifting into, where most of the time, that's what happens. Like I said, when we shift through these parallel realities, they all look so similar that we don't notice we're doing it. They're all almost exactly identical, except for maybe just a couple of key differences. And that's how we progress through them. And the more we progress, the more differences appear and occur, so that suddenly we find ourselves in a whole different kind of reality, all right? So, but for this exercise, you're going to pick one thing. You're going to relax yourself. You're going to pick one little thing. And when I say shift, you're going to imagine that thing being different in some way, all right? So just take a deep breath, pick your thing, all right? Pick your object, all right? You can do this with your eyes closed or your eyes open, doesn't matter. And get ready. 1, 2, 3, shift. All right, that thing is now different. Okay, take a deep breath. Imagine it however you imagined it to be different. That's what that thing is now. Remember, it's in your imagination. You're shifting in your imagination. That's what you're doing right now, okay? So that thing is different. Now you want to pick another thing, all right? Just pick another little thing and make that thing different. Imagine that thing being slightly different, okay? So once again, 1, 2, 3, shift, all right? Boom, that thing is different too now. Again, take a deep breath, take it easy, all right? Now take another thing, pick another thing, all right? And do this again. Take a deep breath, relax, and get ready. 1, 2, 3, shift, all right? Boom, that thing is different now. Now, as I continue to say shift, Now just start picking more and more things to be different, bigger and bigger things to be different, all right? We're gonna start speeding this up a little bit. So before I had you change one thing, shift, change another thing, shift, change a third thing, shift. Now start picking bigger things in the room. Maybe the walls are different. Maybe the whole house is different. Just keep shifting as I say shift. Just keep going with this, all right? Ready? And once more, shift, all right? 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. Just keep picking more and more things to shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. More and more. Keep shifting. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. Shift, 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 shift. Keep shifting. 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 Shift, 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 shift. Stop. All right. Boom. Each time you're shifting, each time I say shift, each time you do that, you're just letting things, more and more things, bigger and bigger things, shift, shift, shift even more rapidly until finally you find yourself in your imagination in a pretty much completely different environment that you're in right now. Now then stop, take another deep breath, relax, and look at the reality that you've now created in your imagination. Look at all the things that you've now made different in your imagination. Remember, it all starts in your imagination. It doesn't have to actually physically look different right now. That's not the purpose of this exercise. The purpose of this exercise isn't actually to shift into parallel reality, although you've been doing it this whole time automatically. It's to get your awareness into the fact, bring your awareness in the fact that you're doing it, and make yourself more conscious and aware of it in your imagination, and to use your imagination, train your imagination and yourself to be able to do this more automatically, more deliberately, okay? And the more you do this exercise and the more often you do it, like I always say, practice makes perfect. You're gonna get better and better and better at it. But more importantly than anything, you're gonna become more and more aware of how you are actually making these shifts happen and how these shifts first and foremost occur in your imagination. All right, so look around, allow yourself to look at all the things that are now different in your imagination about the environment you're finding yourself in. It could be a lot of things, it could be a few things, all right? It's all up to you. So don't worry about doing this in some wrong way. There's no wrong way to do this, okay? You're just doing an exercise. You're playing a game, all right? In fact, I like Abraham Hicks' idea of that we don't call these things techniques anymore and methods and whatnot. Let's call them games, because that's what they are. You know, visualizing, it's a game you're playing with your mind. Affirmations, it's a game that you're playing with your mind. Scripting, it's a game that you're playing with your mind. And just like this exercise, it's a game that you're playing with your mind. You're bringing your awareness into the fact that you are in fact making all these shifts happen. You are in fact making your reality happen around you, okay? So that as you become more aware that you're doing that, you will automatically become more deliberate in terms of the realities that you shift into and the kinds of realities and experiences that you have, all right? Instead of just bouncing around going, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's doing, and all this stuff is happening to me, and I don't know why, and you're constantly giving your attention to what is, 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 what is. What else can your reality shift to again and again except more of what is, what is, what is, what is, what is? All right, you need to start embracing the idea that you're making it happen. You need to start really getting this into your nut, okay? That you are the creator of it all. You are the source of it all. Your imagination and the way that you feel and respond is the source of your physical reality and your environment, your experiences, your circumstances. What you choose to give your attention to and put your focus on is what you will ultimately experience. So why not choose to put your attention, your focus on things that you prefer? So this exercise will help you to do that, all right? It'll help you to do that and help show you and give yourself the permission slip. This is another term that Bashar often uses, which I love. Give yourself the permission slip to do this deliberately and to create more deliberately, all right? And more of what you want. So these exercises, these games are also can be termed permission slips that you give yourself, all right? Now, what's going to happen is you'll come up with, against sort of resistance. As you do this exercise in any kind of game that you're playing, you're going to come up against, limiting beliefs. limitations, negative limitations. So as they come up, if you feel any fear shifting as you're doing this game, just allow yourself to examine those limitations, all right? And just take a look at them. Where could they be coming from? What old limiting belief do you have bouncing around your nut that could be contributing to you feeling fear or stopping yourself from shifting? Just take a look at them and then allow yourself to drop them. Because, the thing about limiting beliefs, and I'm going to do a video about this if I haven't already, I don't remember. After a while, all the videos in my mind, they all blend together. But, what's important to understand about that is that you adopted that limiting belief at some point in your life, at some point on your journey, in your experience, when it actually did serve you. All right. And you probably did so unconsciously. Okay. An example of that would be, I can't get back with my ex, or I can't really have the kind of relationships that I want because I'm not good enough. Now, you told yourself that you're not good enough, maybe on a subconscious level, as a way to protect yourself from getting hurt. All right. From disappointment, because somehow in your mind, you decided disappointment was too painful, too difficult to deal with. So it's better to just talk yourself off that thing that you want, rather than dealing with possible rejection, hurt, pain, whatever it is, okay? Because you had experienced that already. So you adopted that limiting belief as a means to protect yourself. And maybe it served you in that way for a while. But then as you grew and as you became more self-aware and as you understood your creative power more, and as you understood your worth more, all right, as a person, you started to adopt the belief that, in fact, you are a worthy person. All right. You can have the kind of relationships that you want. Now that old limiting belief is no longer serving you. Now it's keeping you back because it's not keeping up with who you have become now. All right. So that's why limiting beliefs still stick around, and that's why they seem to stick in our craw, but they're not so difficult. You don't have to go digging around in the deepest depths of your psyche and go see a hypnotist and whatever it is. You just, as they come up, ask yourself, why did I adopt this belief to begin with? When did it serve me, and how did it serve me at the time that I adopted it? And is it still serving me? And if not, then I'm giving myself permission to let it go, to just drop it. Okay? I mean, that's very important to do. Okay? Even as you're doing any kind of reality creation, reality surfing, manifesting, law of attraction kind of exercises and games, as these things come up, don't be freaked out by them. And don't think just because you're thinking something limiting that now that's messing up your manifestation. Just remember, it's only a limiting belief. And just like any limiting belief, you can adopt a new belief and override that limiting belief. But first, you got to identify them. All right. So as they come up, as you do exercises like I just described and others, as you find yourself kind of stopping yourself or feeling some kind of sense of fear, that gives you a clue right there that you're dealing with an outmoded limiting belief that's no longer serving you. So try to understand what it is, where it's coming from, and then just drop it. All right, drop it and introduce a new belief. And a good way to do that is to just think of the opposite belief of that limiting belief. All right, if you think you're not worthy enough, then the opposite belief would be I am worthy. Give yourself permission to look at evidence in your life that proves that you are worthy, that proves that new assertion that you're going to practice, that new belief you're going to practice and adopt, okay? And again, a belief is nothing more than a thought you think chronically. It's nothing more than a thought that you've practiced to the point that your mind has accepted it as some kind of truth. It's not truth necessarily, all right? There's no real objective truth. There's just your subjective truth. So whatever truth or thought or belief you practice more and more, that becomes a belief. That becomes a belief. And other thoughts like it that you practice, now you have a belief system, okay? So just introduce a new belief system that serves you better now, that serves the person you have become better now. All right, so you know what? It's a really simple game. It's a really simple exercise, and I hope that it's helped you. All right, remember, you can use any environment that you're in. You can see it happening, imagine it happening and shifting all around you, or you can even look at it as if it's up there on a movie screen. If that helps you better, that's okay too. I know I've had other coaches and teachers have said that's not a good way to do it, and that's not a good way to visualize. I don't necessarily agree. You can definitely look at yourself on a movie screen in your visualizations, if that makes your visualization easier. Remember, all those exercises are just designed to get you to a certain state, all right? That's all they're doing. They're not magic buttons that are going to get your manifestation, because what you want is already created. That's how massive and expansive the universe is. That's how infinite creation is, that the moment you imagined it being a possibility, it became a reality already. You're just shifting your awareness into that reality. It's like switching from one radio station to the other. Okay, if you're on this radio station, doesn't mean that all the other radio stations have ceased to transmit their signals. They're still signaling. You're just tuned into the one station. So all you got to do is change your tuner, change your dialer to the station that you prefer. All right, this is just another way to look at it. So I hope that's helped you guys. Let me know in the comments what results you have, if any. And, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. If you like this video, please hit like. If you like the cut of my jib, if you appreciate this content, please consider sharing it too. Please consider leaving me a tip down below. And thank you to all who have. If you want some coaching with me, you'll find links for that below as well in the description box. Okay, guys? So once again, thanks for watching. And I am Tarkan, and until next time, happy manifesting, and bye-bye.